Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to episode number 449 of NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate RingsideNews.com. It is Wrestlemania week. NoDQ.com is your source for all the latest news and rumors, as well as live results coverage. NoDQ.com has got you covered. Got your questions here from spring.me/Aaron Rift. So let's get started here with the first one from Bort Simpson. Do you think it's a bad idea to have the four-way tag team title match be on the WrestleMania pre-show? Well, here's the thing. Unfortunately, once WWE has finalized the format for WrestleMania and how long each match and segment is going to go, inevitably something is going to get bumped from the main pay-per-view, and it turns out that the tag team title match is going to be on the pre-show now. I'm not a big fan of it. I've stated in previous videos that I think every title should be on the line at WrestleMania. The titles should be important and they should be on the main card. But when you look at the rest of the WrestleMania card, it's hard to say what other match would be a better choice for the pre-show. The Divas match is what it is. It is a filler match that is getting all the women on the show, and also it's a buffer. It's a match to cool off the fans between one big match and another big match. So, I mean, it does serve a purpose on the main show. Andre the Giant Battle Royal, that is something Hulk Hogan announced on Raw. To me, it would be a huge mistake to put that on the pre-show. And you have the rest of the big matches. I wouldn't put the Shield in a pre-show match. So, I mean, they should be on the main card as well. And, they have a few other matches, the top matches, the WWE World Title match, and Daniel Bryan, Triple H. Of course, that's not going to be the pre-show. And then you have Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. So, really, you had to go with the tag team title match. If you're going to sacrifice one match and have that match be on the pre-show, I mean, that's the one that makes the most logical sense. Unfortunately, I wish that WWE was able to find a way to squeeze that on the show, but when they're coming up with the timing and the formatting, these things happen. It just sucks. All right, this next one comes from WWE fan Dark Arrow. Hey Aaron, what are your thoughts on WWE not pushing Roman Reigns as hard as they were? Does this mean that WWE won't be pushing him to the main event picture when the Shield breaks up? I really hope not, because he is a great talent. Well, just because WWE has changed plans with the Shield for the time being doesn't mean that they've given up on Roman Reigns. I'm sure that whenever the time comes that the Shield breaks up, Roman Reigns will get his big push and he will be groomed to be a top star in WWE. I'm fairly certain that that will still happen unless something goes down, like he gets suspended or he gets seriously injured. But I think in all likelihood he will get his big push, and it's just a matter of time at this point. And speaking of the Shield, this leads me to another question here about the Shield and Roman Reigns from Derek J. 1993. Do you think that the Shield turning babyface was a huge mistake? WWE should be focusing on their split and should have booked a triple threat match for the U.S. title at WrestleMania instead of this six-man tag team match with them against Kane, Rowan, and Harper. Or actually, the match is Kane and the New Age Outlaws. I think that it is a mistake. I think that the Shield against Kane and the New Age Outlaws is a nothing match. To me, it's a Raw or even a SmackDown match. It doesn't feel like a WrestleMania match. I would have done the Shield split in the triple threat match. And yes, I love the Shield as a group, and when they do break up, it will be a sad day, but I think timing-wise, it would have been best to have them split after the Wyatt matches and then have the match at WrestleMania and use that match as a way to, launch the singles career of all three of them, and most notably Roman Reigns, giving him a big win. That's what I would have done. And, I'm not a big fan of this six-man match. And, maybe you could have done that Shield triple threat match and then found time to add the tag team title match on the main pay-per-view. So, I mean, whatever. They're going to do what they're going to do. But, yeah, I think that it was a mistake, because I think that the triple threat match was a WrestleMania caliber match, and I don't think that this six-man is a WrestleMania caliber match. All right, this next one comes from Kayfabe Candy Ass, an old-time favorite. Do you fear that even if WWE pushes Daniel Bryan hard post-Mania, that it's just going to prove how fickle the internet fans are, and they never seriously push their darlings because they know when they become popular that that means they are suddenly overrated? I've gotten quite a few questions about Daniel Bryan, and if I think that there will be a backlash where fans turn on Daniel Bryan if WWE pushes him too hard, if Daniel Bryan becomes like a new John Cena. I don't think that the fans will ever turn on Daniel Bryan, no matter what WWE does with him, regardless of how hard they push him. If Daniel Bryan wins every single match every week on television, I don't see the fans ever turning on him. Daniel Bryan is one of those guys that represents the underdog and a guy who worked his way up from the very bottom and slowly became a big superstar in the industry. And, he really had to work his way to the top. He had to bust his ass. He had to overcome all the odds politically to make it in WWE. And the fans respect him for that. So they're never going to turn on him. The thing about John Cena and Batista and Randy Orton is a lot of hardcore wrestling fans see those guys as hand-picked superstars, guys that WWE decided whether the fans really like them or not, these are the guys that are going to be the main eventers. And that's why you have some fans out there that resent John Cena being in the main event. Same thing with Randy Orton and Batista. Daniel Bryan's a guy that the fans have been following. A lot of fans have been following for a decade now, and they've been with him since the beginning. So I don't see it happening with Daniel Bryan. And, people ask me, will the yes chant die out? I don't think so. The woo chant never died out. Ric Flair's been doing that for over 30 years. And, people still do it to this day. And people still do the what chants for Steve Austin. So, I think the yes chants will be here to stay. So if you're not a fan of the yes chants and Daniel Bryan, well, you better get used to it because I see him being around for a very long time. All right, this next one comes from the Jobinator. Hey Aaron, when you consider his near 20-year career in the wrestling business, when would you say Paul White, aka The Big Show, had his best period as a performer? I would have to say 2002 and 2003 when Big Show was on SmackDown, starting when he got the big singles push and he beat Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series for the title. I would say that was the beginning of the period, and then going up until WrestleMania 20 against John Cena. That was a period when Paul Heyman was involved with the creative on SmackDown, and I think Paul Heyman knew how to utilize the Big Show better than anyone else up to that point or even since. During that period, the Big Show was a serious heel. He wasn't doing the comedy, and he was being utilized as a giant, as he should. And I think that was when he was the most effective. And, he had those matches with Brock Lesnar and the matches with Undertaker and Kurt Angle, some really good matches. And, I just think that was his overall best period in terms of in the ring and the character. All right, this next one comes from Ski Tone 223. Hey Aaron, please answer in video. Do you think that after WrestleMania, whoever walks out with the WWE World Heavyweight title should drop the big gold belt? To me, it feels like having two titles around takes away the prestige of WWE's new title belt. I definitely think that if they're not planning to split the titles again, then they should just merge it and have the WWE title belt. Perhaps they are planning at some point to split the titles again, or maybe they just want the big gold belt around so they can continue selling the big gold belt replicas. That's a possibility, but it's kind of ridiculous. If you're having a unified champion, you should really have one title. It's getting ridiculous now. So hopefully after WrestleMania, they make a final decision. Are we going to split the titles, or are we going to keep it as a unified title? And in that case, they should just have one belt. I definitely think that that's the best way to go. All right, final question here today from John Drix Romano. Hey Aaron, and this is a TNA question. Do you think the TNA should have made Magnus a babyface world champion and fed him AJ Styles, Sting, and Kurt Angle since their contracts are up in order to establish the man in the company? That's a good question. I think that perhaps would have been a better way to utilize Magnus. If not Magnus, you could have still had Magnus as this cowardly heel. But yeah, I ideally, you would have used AJ Styles leaving and Sting leaving as a way to put over your new star and make him look like $1,000,000. If AJ and Sting are leaving, why have them lose in a fluke? I mean, Magnus, if he wasn't going to win as a babyface, he should have at least won as a dominant heel and beat those guys clean and came off looking like a monster. Having Magnus win over those guys in a fluke when they're leaving the company, I mean, yeah, doesn't really make any sense from a business standpoint. So, wasn't a big fan of that, and I definitely think that either having him as a babyface or heel, regardless, he should have gotten clean, decisive wins over those guys. Alright, that'll do it for this edition of No DQ&A video. If you like the fact that I answered a TNA question, please submit them. I don't get that many TNA questions. spring.me/AaronRift. And next episode is 450. This will be the final video I'm posting before WrestleMania, so I will get my final thoughts in that video. Any questions you have about WrestleMania or even TNA, I'm going to be doing an extended edition of No DQ&A video, so I'll be answering plenty of questions. Submit them, spring.me/AaronRift, and I will see you guys next time for episode number 450.